Alright, let's do this. Get the camera set up. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Zuko Painting for our hobby and chill. So, yesterday's stream we finished off our version of another Doombill. So we have two of these guys now. So this is the one that we did yesterday. He's looking pretty awesome. I'm quite happy with how he turned out. So I think the viewers have named Terry and Thomas, and we've got one more to do. So the camera struggles to pick up the all-white model, but we'll need to come up with another name with him, another T. But I'll probably do this one off camera because we've done, well, we did one of these on a 6-hour stream at the weekend, which I did not save because I'm clever like that. It was this guy. But this one we did over 2 sessions, 2 2-hour sessions, so it was 4 hours it took us to paint this. And I'm really happy with how he's turning out. He's very similar layouts. The viewers voted for the dark blue cloth. And I looked up pictures on the internet for tigers to copy stripes and stuff, so yeah, I'm quite happy with how the stripes and stuff have come out as well. Make them look really cool. I have changed some video settings. So hopefully, I've now got it on. I was finding it the autophoto because I was finding it was taking far too long to focus. I've changed a bit of the white brightness. That's not auto anymore. So hopefully, on my screen, it looks a lot clearer, a lot better, and the models are staying in focus as long as I have them close to here. If I move them up to the camera, can't see anything really, but I can manage the focus. So yeah. That's what we've done over the last couple of streams, the first few streams. I think our video quality should be getting better now as we play about with that each day, but need you guys to let me know how it is on your end. I know that I've turned up the resolution a bit, I've turned up the video quality. My internet isn't the greatest here, we don't even have fibre broadband here, so hopefully you're not getting lots of buffering and stuff like that. If you do, I'll turn it down a bit again. We've got the original Tony the Tiger here as well. Which I'm really happy with. So these are the one-page rules prints. But I'm proxying them as Beastmen of Chaos for the Games Workshop game. So yeah, we've got 3 models done on stream. And now we're going to do something a bit different. So rather than doing the third version of my Doombill, we are going to go and do some of the smaller models. So let me get my little bit of paper. And we'll have a look at what we're doing. Let's see if that... Definitely need to fix the white contrast here. As I said, I've got everything on manual now, just so it's better for painting, but not so good for the documents it seems. Give me 1 second. Probably should have had all these settings nice and accessible to start. Right, let's try fixing that white balance. See if that does it. Is that a focus thing? Here we are. autofocus, change the exposure. There we are, we can read it now. Okay, so we have the brute boss from One Page Rules, who's going to be my Doom Bull. That was this guy. So we got him done. He needs to get put on his right base. We've also done 2 of the 3 of the Ungors. So the Beastmen that are dual wielding brutes are going to be my Ungors. They're on the right size bases, so that's those 2 guys. And I'll probably do the last one off stream unless you guys want to see that on stream. But I think today what we're going to do is some of just the normal models. So we've got the Beastmen Hunters, which are going to be my Ungors. And I've just ordered a lot of the new contrast paints, so we're going to give them a shot. I've never really used contrast. I've been out the hobby a wee while, and I know the original contrasts have come out ages and ages ago, but I was kind of set in my ways with doing just base, layer, highlight. So I've not used contrast a whole lot, so I'm kind of looking forward to this as well. It'll be interesting to see how it turns out. But yeah, we'll give that a shot. So I think I'm going to do a bit of a production line as well with them. So let me show you those models that we'll be using. Let me fix the camera settings for painting again. Again, the camera does struggle to focus a little bit on when the models are all white, but once we start getting quotes on them, that should look a bit better. Okay, I think that's about the best we got it. So these ones are again the One Page Rules prints. They also do, as the name suggests, a lot of rules for the games as well. Much kind of less weighty rules than the Games Workshop ones. So back like when 40k 8th edition came out and we had basically a page of rules and the miniatures and stuff like that. One Page Rules is kind of like that. But I feel like they've got much tighter rules than what 8th edition had when it first came out. So yeah. I'm going to be painting 5 of these wee jackals, which are going to be my Ungors. Just fixing the video settings a little bit. Looks a bit better. You'll be able to see the models a bit better once we get some paint on them. I don't have the greatest of gear yet, but we'll work on it. I think what I need is a good soft light. At the moment I'm using desk lamps, overhead desk lamps, and the light's quite harsh, so the models are kind of reflecting the light of them, whereas if I get a nice soft light, it won't be as harsh on the camera focus and stuff. But yeah, let's get stuck in. Give the contrast paints a little shot. Hi Kovac, how you doing? What hobby are you doing? Building 3D printed models. What ones are you doing? Ah, cool. I'm glad to have you on the stream doing some hobby as well. Let me know what you think about the video settings and stuff as well. I have just said at the start, I don't know if you were in the stream just as I was saying, I've changed quite a few of the video settings, so I've put basically autofocus off, auto like the auto contrast and stuff, the white brightness and stuff is all off, so I'm kind of doing them manually now, which should be okay if I'm kind of sitting with a model here. And I've also turned like the resolution of the camera up a little bit as well, so it should be good in theory, but my internet's not the greatest. So let me know if you get any buffering, or like really, if it's really jittery or anything, we can play about with that as well. But I'm just going to go ahead and try putting, so I'm going to start with Fire Slayer Flesh. You guys probably have more of an idea of how this look. I haven't watched much videos on them. So yeah, this is me just testing it out, seeing how it looks. I'm just going to I'll start off slightly thinner than maybe what is recommended, I don't know. I can always put on second coats and stuff. That's nice, I quite like that actually. And the reason is, I'm probably going to have 30 of these models, like 30 of the ranged versions. So spending 4 hours on 60 of the smaller models doesn't really appeal to me, to be honest. I'm far too lazy for that. So I think contrast will at least give me a good base. Even if I then go on and start layering above it or whatever, do a couple of contrast layers, whatever it may be, I think it'll be a nice start to the production line. The music seems a bit more jazzy today. Not really bothered if I'm getting some of this contrast over the wrong areas, because it's just how we're kind of starting out. The good thing as well is, because I'm going to have so many of these, I'll maybe do them 5 at a time and then switch up the colours, so we've got a bit of variety in the army as well. Hi Mafera, how you doing? Yeah, I'm interested in what I think as well. I really don't have much experience in the contrast paints, so I've bought a whole bunch of different ones. I think they might be the newer ones, just with the way they were set up in the shop that I used, but they could just put all the contrast paints together. So this one that I'm using is Fire Slayer Flesh. I think that is maybe one of the newer ones, so yeah. I don't have many expectations I'm just going to work with them, see where it goes. If I like them, great. If I think that they maybe need layering afterwards or more contrast or what, I'm just going to play about and experiment with them. That's the joys of chaff units. They're getting shot off the board in about the first turn anyway, the first 5 minutes, so the paint job isn't going to be as great as the models we've done before, but I'm also not spending 46 hours on each one of these. Really don't want it pulling though. Looks alright. Might try various thicknesses as well and see what we think. Also give a bit of variety even on the ones that are done the same colour. While I am putting this one a bit thicker, I don't want it pulling in the eyes because I have to paint them later. Make shading a lot easier, yeah. I mean, I'm thinking like, even if I'm not a big fan of them, I'll probably still use them just for that initial, cool, I can see where the light areas are, I can see where the dark areas are. Now it's telling me where I need to shade, where I need to highlight, and everything in between where I need to layer. So even if I'm just putting it on for a guide, but so far it doesn't look, it looks quite nice. How are you guys finding the focus of and the quality of the video this time round? I've tweaked some settings. Is it better? Is it worse? I've also turned the resolution up, so if you get any buffering, or it's most likely from my side, so let me know what you think. I've pretty much turned all the honest. Well, it looks good on a small screen. That's a good start. Yeah, do your base and the shade together, but then layer and highlight on top. That's kind of what I was thinking I'd probably end up doing, so that's nice. It's good to know. It kind of two birds with one stone. And I might find that this is entirely the wrong colour for the skin of these kind of jackal-like creatures, and I should be using another one, but for now it seems okay. try and stay in the camera. How is the weather where you guys are? Was it a bit cooler today? A bit more manageable? I think it was definitely cooler here, but still too hot for me. I should actually check my computer temperature and see if it's running any nicer today as well. The fan is definitely gubbed and it's out of warranty and they couldn't get me it, but they are sending me a replacement for a discounted price, which is nice, so it wasn't as expensive as I thought it would be. So hopefully I'll get that on Friday and I can get back to playing games. Or I could just play games without a cooler and just melt my PC, but it's probably not wise. I think it's fine just doing streaming, but I think if I start playing games it'll be a less wise choice. That's good. Good that you're able to work. Jacko doesn't have a foot. The joys of 3D printing. It's not always perfect. Yeah, I'm still using them. He's got a bandage on his foot, so he's just tied it up and got back to the slaughter. I don't think I had like a few wee things that had came off in the box, and that wasn't in it, so maybe it's fallen out or whatever, but it could be that it's just very well hidden, because it's quite, I didn't even notice it even when I started painting it. You can just kind of see it there, it's tucked away. It doesn't make a big difference. He'll get a nice bloody stump. Having no feet builds character. Equal opportunities, general. Don't care if you've got a sick note from your shaman. You're going straight to the battlefield. Build him a peg. That's an amazing idea. I'm giving him a peg leg. That's happening. And if he's got, well, I've got like one kind of like boss, so you'll be like the captain of the squad. But if I make it 2 squads, he will be definitely the captain of the second squad. I'll give him a big eye patch as well. That's all the bits done. Oh, not foot. Busy talking about the missing foot. I forgot to paint the actual foot that's there. Captain Jackal Sparrow. I think I'll probably get about the first 4 beats of it, and then he gets shot and he's dead, and then they just back up and go home. Job done. I think the off-brand Jackal Sparrow is not quite as suave as Johnny Depp's version. Or by the time he gets into the battlefield to the front lines, the battle's already over, because he's not as fast with just one leg, hopping his way around. Definitely here for the loot. Definitely here for the loot. Hey Todd Jack, how you doing? More knives than teeth? Do you know what? I think that might be definitely the case with this guy. He's got 2 knives and doesn't look like many teeth. I do need to clear out a bit of, he's got some supportage in his mouth, so we're just going to cut that out and hopefully not cut half his face off. If I do, well, he does have some teeth. I lied. Here we are. I know, that's alright, don't mind. There only has been a couple here and there, and even again when I'm sitting painting the model, I'm only noticing them kind of last minute, so wouldn't expect them all to be got. But I'll definitely need to put an order in for some more Kovac. Because I'm pretty much, I think, going to want 30 of these guys, 30 of the little bow guys, and then maybe some more of the two-handed axe guys. I don't know if this guy's got like a t-shirt under that cloth stuff. I don't think so. That looks like a hood there. I actually do think that's almost like a kind of clothy undershirt. No, there we go. That's right. Yeah, there's no rush. I have plenty to paint through, and it'll probably be ages before I even sit down to have a game, so. Sometimes when the model's all white, it's kind of hard to see where some of the different details, but as soon as you put that contrast on, you can see exactly where you've made your mistake. So just take him out. When I'm moving the model about and stuff, is it laggy? Staying in focus and stuff now? Is it a lot better than what it was the last couple of streams? Let me know what you're thinking. I know you said that it does seem a lot better, right enough. But I'm probably just going to keep tweaking video settings and stuff. No stutter, seems focused, amazing. I've turned the autofocus off, so basically, as long as I keep the model kind of right here, you should be able to see what I'm doing. And then once I need to get like proper lighting, because these ones are obviously very harsh, so it's the lighting makes it look a bit well, when I do that, the hands are a bit more natural than, but the model has like that kind of reflective glow on it. So I'll get a nice softbox light, but they're quite expensive, so until I get one of them, you're just gonna have to deal with it. But as long as you can actually see what I'm painting and how it's kind of turning out, that's better. So Adam Kovac, you're doing your Stegodon building. Is anyone else doing any hobby? It's pretty much surgical lighting is what I've got going on for my painting thing. It's not as harsh in real life, but on the camera it's obviously a lot more, seems to pick up the reflections quite a lot, and I've kind of farted about with the exposure and the the brightness and stuff, and I've turned a lot of the auto off because I think that really, when it was just trying to overcompensate. But I can play about with it and see if we can get in. I mean, now we've got a bit of thing. Let's see. So it definitely looks a lot worse, I think, on the white balance. Oh, that looks a wee bit more focused there. Or it did before I moved it too far back. Too dark. What do we like better, the kind of darker or the lighter? Darker, cool. Yeah, we can leave it at that. As I said, once I get like a soft light, I could probably have it the slightly lighter one, which will like the whole thing will be a bit brighter, but you won't have the glare like this one. Yeah, the detail looks a lot better on this, and you can see everything. So a nice big soft light, maybe hanging overhead, will be my next purchase. So, but cool. Painting Obi-Wan. Yeah. My wife has brought me dinner again. There we go, I think we've got all the skin. Put a bit more in this hand. But yeah, I was pretty much spending most of last night YouTube videos talking about exposure and contrast and brightness and all this stuff, going down the rabbit hole of basically videography, and I'm like, I just want people to see what I'm doing. But each stream, if it's getting a bit better, then we're going in the right direction. Cool, so that's the kind of skin. I'm quite happy with that. Definitely still feels quite unpainted. I mean, I wouldn't just put a contrast on and call it done. But I definitely think it's a really good start. If I was going to start layering it up, I'm going to do with the first one. I'm just going to put another layer on, quite thick, not in the eyes though, and see how that looks, because maybe I'm putting it on too thin. But the joys of both having junk units and 3D printed ones is you can experiment without feeling too bad about it. You don't want to ruin your best models by experimenting and then finding out, well, that looks really bad and it's hard to change. So, and then if this looks really good, then I can do it to the rest of the models. and if you guys want to experiment with some of the different radio stations, because I've got radio stations now. So I'm on the Lo-Fi radio station. There is EDM and Friends. I don't know what that means. Rap, pop, rock, classical, indie, jazz, basically all the different types. So if you want a little change in music or just to see what they're like, just let me know. I'm gonna experiment with them. So this is like the kind of Twitch radio, and it's like, yeah, for Twitch streamers and stuff like that. It's all obviously like the stuff's not copyrighted or whatever. And I used that in my last stream, and then literally as soon as it went into recording, it's like, yeah, this is copyrighted material, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's literally your material that you told me I could use. But it obviously thought it was a different song that was playing, so. Is that like electronic dance music? Is that what it stands for? Just a total guess. Ah, got it in one. Smarter than your average bear. So the next one I've got, Guntrafar. I'm just going to put this on like the wee fur tufts. There's not actually a whole lot, pretty much just at the top of the heads is pretty much where the only fur is on these guys. I'll put a wee bit of that on. I kind of bought, the paints that I've got are pretty much greys, pretty much grey, browns and black, and so grey, black and various browns, so I don't have a huge repertoire, but I thought that's probably going to be what my kind of Jackley guys are going to be, so let's try this one.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, they don't even have like tufts on the back of their legs or anything like that. I suppose if we get fancy, we could do like little patches of darker browns and stuff, so it looks like they're not just all one colour. By a pocket 3 white, you get a real arm pain with that one. I don't quite get what you mean. What do you mean, my fair? Just like hard work using it, or? Oh, to shake it, yeah. I mean, like, I've got those kind of layer paints that I've got in the tubs that have got the little agitator in it, the little metal ball to shake up, because some of them are still hard from being in the garage over the winter. Yeah, it's a pure mission to try and get them usable again, and sometimes it just doesn't happen. Thankfully, we males have a bit of experience in that department of shaking up paints. Of grey and white if I'm shaking, god, that does not sound fun. Right, so the next one I've got, I've just kind of worked my way through I've just laid them all out, is wildwood, which I would probably use for wood. I don't actually think I have many wooden bits. I don't know, would the shields be counted as wooden? Some of them have like a kind of wooden with the kind of metal plate in the middle. I think that's probably right. Even the handles, maybe a wee bit on the handles, but it looks like there's metal bits there. Yeah, let's go for that. Oh. Okay. So they've got tails. I should do gore Grunthith fur on the tails. So let's do that. This guy doesn't have a tail. I think he's got it hidden under his cloth. Leather and wood, cool. I've actually got snakebite leather, so I was going to try that one on the leather bits, so I'll do the wildwood on the wood parts, and then snakebite leather on and see what I like from each. Sometimes it looks a very kind of like a contrast version of Dryad Bark, and from the other models, if you've watched the stream, then you can know that basically my bones, wood and leather all start with Dryad Bark, because I just think it's a very nice brown to base coat your models with in those areas. Okay. I did notice when looking for this guy's tail that he's got a couple of supports up his skirt. It's not very PG if I leave it. Don't think he'd be very happy if I cut it off, but I think I might need clippers for this one. Here we go. Oh, nice. Well, you sound like you know kind of quite a bit about the contrast paints, a lot more than I do, so you can correct me if I'm wrong or doing stuff the wrong way, but let's do wildwood. So we're doing the kind of hilts of the swords. There is like a kind of metal on the end. That's okay. And I'm going to do the shield, but not the central bit that looks like it's metal that's kind of holding it together. I think that would be quite nice just for that kind of pulling out the details. Don't want it quite as thick as that. I'll put it on the inside. Which I probably do want a bit thicker on the inside. And while I want a little bit up here, I actually kind of, which if the model's just standing upright, will slowly pull towards the bottom. Which is kind of what I want, but I also don't want it to be as dominant as that. You can always add more, but it's much harder to take away, especially once it's dried. What do you think about the armor? Should I do a different type of armor from what we did with the big guys, where it's the kind of dirty iron? Or do you think these guys would have even worse armor, like maybe kind of brassy looking, or do you think it would just be, yeah, they've barely got any armor on anyway, so they might get the same armor. They just obviously are not entitled to as much of it. What do you guys think? Part of me is like, yeah, having different armor will be cool, adds variety in the models, but at the same time, I'm like, maybe having something that's brassy armor. I vote for brassy armor. Cool. It's been a long time since I painted brass on it. You kind of work out what I'm doing with that. I could do a mix. Some bits are the lighter stuff, some bits are the darker stuff. Yeah. Corroded brassy armor, let's go for it then. I mean, if they're given wooden shields, iron's probably a bit above their pay grade. I could do the sword hilt the same colour as the other ones, because they would probably, or not the hilt, the actual blade, because that would probably need to be a bit stronger than brass. So they might actually get real blades, but have really crappy armour that they... He's using sheer luck. I mean, his sheer luck hasn't done him so well. He's lost a leg, but if that's luck, then I really don't want his type of luck. Not being overly careful, which I probably should be more careful, because having contrast paints will affect the colour of the contrast paints going on those bits later, but yeah. Having little inconsistencies should be cool. Yeah, he's definitely getting a nice green stuff peg leg. Could even make it like a metal one. You know what? He's just that cool. He's not getting them wooden peg legs. He's rocking the high quality peg legs. Yeah, so that's that one done. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take 5 minutes to eat my dinner. So, while I'm doing that, I will set the palette camera up. There's some cat cam on the go. He's just chilling. The war band definitely needs to be called the Beastie Boys. We've got the Doombull who's leading it. Obviously, Tony the Tiger. And then we have the first stream we did, we painted this guy, who's Terry the Tiger. Thomas the Tiger. And the unpainted one has yet to be named, so we need another name for him. And they'll be the Ungors. Yes, Timmy the Tiger needs to. That's definitely his name. Even Timmy doesn't get painted on stream like all the other ones. Had to update the title on Twitch. It still had Beastmen Part 2. Got pulled pork for dinner and it's beautiful. That does sound really good. I like hoisin duck. Never had it on a pizza though. Okay, that's me back. Let's see how this words came out. So I think I definitely want to put it on a bit thicker. This one on the right definitely looks better than the one on the left. I'm just going to give that one another. I'm going to change this song. I really don't like the out of tune songs. Okay, happy with that. What about cloth? In fact, before we get to cloth, we'll do our leather. So I don't think I've got many contrast paints that'll be good for cloth. But should we have like a uniform for each squad for the cloth, like we did with the Ungors? But there's only 3 of them, whereas if we're going to have 30 of these, it might be good just to have a rabble of them. Oh, no, painting the wrong bit. We want the leather straps. Let me know what you think regarding the cloth.
A beautiful morning ahead with some record high heat on the way, and we only are in mid to late November right now.
This one seems to have like a little leather. What is it you call the things to keep your belly in a girdle? Is it? He seems to have one of those. He's wanting to look his best for the battlefield. do this guy's hand with the skins when I go back and do that. Times it's quite hard to see whether the straps and the cloths are meeting. One of the disadvantages of having that kind of white paint, but it's very hard to use contrast paints on top of anything that isn't a white or a grey, so. And if I miss paint anywhere, I can always just go over it again, it's not a big deal. Because contrast paints are nice and watery anyway, so it's not like they're covering up detail. Move the camera in a little bit so you can see a bit better where I'm doing these small details. Let me fix the focus. I do feel like this steak bite leather might need to be put on a bit heavier than the other ones because it's very, very bright for, especially just for like the kind of first base coat. So I might be putting it on too lightly. So let's start making it a bit heavier. Because we want quite dark colours to start, and then the paints that go on after, brightening it up. I find that that's really the easiest way to do it. Yeah, putting it on a bit thicker is definitely looking a lot better. Looking a bit more leather-like. Last one. Is Obi-Wan and the Stegodon coming on? I've done a green stuff. That's amazing. You both need to put pictures up when you're kind of getting towards finishing, and we'll get them on the slideshow. Same with you, Todrak. If you've got models you want to show off on the slideshow, and put them up. Discord's just on the stream there. If you go in there and then just post pictures, even if they're in progress, just crop them so they're landscape. And even if you just use like paint or whatever to just put a wee text box in, just to say who it is. Perfect, so that's kind of all our leather done. So that was snakebite leather, the contrast. God, almost spilt it already, literally the first time using it. Why I don't like these tubs, because I usually use about half of it and then spill the other half, and they're too expensive to do that. Doesn't help that I'm the clumsiest person ever. So I've got a couple of options next. I have the kind of blacks and greys. We could do some cloth with those, just make a few. Just do the cloth with a mixture of those. I've also got, these are the last ones that we've not used yet. Contrast Black Legion, Black Templar, Basilium Grey. We've got Agaros Dunes. And we've got skeleton hordes. So as I said, they're brown, greys and blacks is pretty much all I've got so far. But it might be worth trying some. I think I'll try these, one each on cloth. See how they come out. If I like them, I could do the last two with one of them. If I'm not a big fan, then I'll layer it the good old-fashioned way. Get some bright colours. Because I do think some bright cloths might be quite nice on these guys, just to make them stand out a bit. But we'll start with Black Legion, see how this comes out. Literally the whole lid just came off. And it's going everywhere. Games Workshop, love your paints, I hate your bottles. And I'll probably end up putting these in dropper bottles at some point before I spill them all. I've already had a major spillage already. That was almost the second one, although that one, first one was my fault, that one was... Oh. So the contrast with the Black Legion, it does actually seem very black, which you would expect from a black paint, but I'll be interested to see how this looks. Me, it just feels like I'm kind of just putting black on, an Abaddon black coat, but it would probably dry differently. Yeah, they are very good quality paints, which I would expect because they are more expensive than a lot of the other kind of paints and stuff that are on the market from like Vallejo and Army Painter and that. So it is good having like that a kind of premium range, but their bottles are not premium, unfortunately. That's my main gripe with them. There's just a wee bit of cloth that sticks out above the belt. I do actually quite like this black. It's nice. Black is a very hard colour to paint. Just kind of getting it on goes on really smoothly, but it can be quite hard to then make it look like it's a part of a model you've painted and it's not just the undercoat. I know it's something I've already kind of struggled with, but I suppose if you had something like a Black Templar army, Space Marines, because they've got lots of nice curves, I can see this kind of being able to separate out. Actually, it's not just one really thick black, but there is a bit of tone in it. It's nice. There's a little bit of skin there that I missed, so I need to go back and do that. I also missed said that I missed something somewhere else, and I don't think I went back and corrected it, so I need to remember where that was and correct it when it pops up. Yeah, that's nice. I'm quite happy with that. Next up, I'm gonna try go Black Templar. So that was Black Legion. This is Black Templar. Maybe this one will be better for Black Templars. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Although to me, they both got black armor, so let's see how this one looks. On the palette, it's very similar. But on the palette, is pretty much the exact same. I suppose you'll get quite different effects depending on how thick you put it on as well. This is more like a kind of blacky grey. It seems to have a lot more tone in it than the other one. But the other one does almost seem like quite a solid black with only a small difference between the highlights and the lowlights or the shade parts. This one seems to be a lot more noticeable. So you can definitely see the advantage as well, because these take longer to dry. There's definitely quite a large advantage in doing 3 to 5 models. You can go even higher than that, doing that kind of production line. So you're not just, if you're doing one model, I'd probably be spending half my time just waiting for one coat to dry or whatever. But I can just do one bit, I'll do all the colours that I need to do in one model and go to the next one. Don't have to keep switching paints just because I'm waiting for one area to dry. So you can just get a good balance in what you like if you're doing a production line. Some people don't like it, they'll just stick to one model and really put a lot of effort and don't mind switching paints and stuff in one model. They find that when you're doing 5 models, it can be 5 times as long before you start to your model starts actually looking like it's got a good paint job on it. In the last streams I kind of spoke about how sometimes even at the halfway point of painting a model where you've kind of done your base coats and done a wash, still looks a bit naff. It's not until you're really getting to those last stages, the last layers, the highlights, putting the details on, where it really starts popping. And even the models I have done, they will look 10 times better as well once I do the bases. I think quite a lot of people don't really give bases as much attention as they should. Bases and faces, that's what people look at. They'll look at the kind of centre part of your model, which is usually the face, and then they'll look at the base, and then their eye will wander and look around. So you do want to spend, and I like bases because they're not hard. Don't need precision like the rest of the painting. See, if I'm like, I want to do hobby, but I really can't be bothered painting, doing bases is the way to go, for me anyway. There's lots of little rules about hobby. Bases and faces, rule of cool, which is, doesn't matter if you're supposed to do it or a way you're supposed to do it or a colour scheme, you do it what you think's cool, because it's your hobby, not anyone else's. And there was a guy who was like, I want to play an Ultramarines army on Reddit today, but I really want to do the colour red, so should I just like play Blood Angels and then play them, like occasionally use the rules? And I was like, do what you want, it's your hobby. What I would do in that case is if you wanted to play Ultramarines but you wanted a red army, I mean you could use a different shade for maybe Blood Angels or one of the less known like shades. But even if you loved the look of Blood Angels, but the way Ultramarines played, paint them like Blood Angels, use Ultramarines iconography on the shoulder pads and stuff. Your hobby, you do what you want. You might have to explain to confused people where they're like, oh, are you playing Blood Angel? Like, no, it's Ultramarines. But it's your hobby, so I don't mind. Usually when people are asking me like if I've got a weird colour scheme, I'll definitely get questions about this army if I go to play it. Because it's Beastmen, but all the models are different, because obviously these are going to be like proxies. So these are Ungors, which are usually goatmen, but I'm playing jackals. So every time I go to sit down and have a game, I'll be like, these are my Ungors. These will be my Ungor Raiders, these are my Gors. It's my Doombill, you know, so as long as everything's on the right size bases and you try and make a WYSIWYG with weapons, or at least everything's kind of unique enough that it's not annoying to try and identify on the table. You may have to do some of that explaining, but definitely do really cool. And if you're not playing the game, definitely do what you want. In my opinion. So there's the 2 different colours I've done. The Abaddon or the Black Legion contrast paint, and the Black Templar contrast paint. I have to say I do think I like the Black Templar better. It's a bit more grey, it's like a very dark grey, whereas the Black Legion does look black. But you could probably shade and then highlight to get your desired effect for each of them. So So next I'm going to go to Basilium Grey. That looks grey in the palette, that's always a good start. Seems to go on quite thin. Quite watery even, so I'm going to put it on a bit thicker than I did the other two. Good thing about him having no foot is I can get into the back of the cloth quite easily, on the insides. That looks nice, I like that colour. I think I've said that about all of them, but it's a good sign. So we strap I've missed there as well. I'm going to go back and do these bits that I've missed because I keep saying, oh, I've missed a bit, and then forgetting to actually go do it. This one had a bit of skin, didn't it? This one. Yeah, skin fixed. Yeah, so that one's a lot more grey. What you'd expect from a grey one, where the other ones are black. But it's quite nice. I like that one because it gives quite dark. It's quite dark in the recesses, but it's quite bright above, which means that it's pretty good for layering on top of. So yeah, that's the kind of the greys and the blacks ones done. So there's three other ones that I've not really used. Sigmar Brown, Agoros Dunes, and Skeleton Horde. So let's give each of these a wee shot on some. Very aware that because these are brown colours as well, the model might look very very bland because it's just all brown colours, but we'll do it on this guy. So this is sigmar brown. That's a really lovely brown. Nice tones to that. See how it dries, but I think that's probably one of the contrast paints, depending on obviously how it dries, that might actually be really nice. One of the nicest ones without needing more work done to it. It will need more work done to it, but a lot of the contrast paints look very poor that I feel so far if you just left it that way. I mean, I'm enjoying them and I think they look really good, and they've been set up perfectly to add more layers on top, but that one's got really nice tones. It seems to go on quite evenly. Just do a bit of upskirt. This one model's got some skin that I've missed. Do that after we finish this colour. So I'm going to go back and do that little bit of skin. Actually using the wrong one there. Might use the Gore Grunther for. Definitely did. we are. It's that kind of brown. Looks really nice. I like that. It's quite an even tone throughout. You've got the dark recesses and the lighter tops, but doesn't seem to be any kind of major flaws in the transition between them. For the last one, I'm just going to do some good old-fashioned layering. I think maybe because this one's probably going to be the leader of the bunch. Just like the Dumbo with a nice red cape, you can get a nice red one as well. But I think so far I'm quite happy with those contrast paints. I think I'd quite like to use them as the kind of base coats of models and then build up from them. So I might actually pick up some more of the contrast paints, like the reds and stuff, and use them. But at the moment, I'm just going to go old school with base and layers. So I'm just going to go corn red. Don't know if there's any left in this bottle. I don't think so. Okay, I don't think I've got much corn red left, so let's just find another dark red that I've got. I'm sure I've got one somewhere. I've got my fist in, we can maybe start with that and then go down. I need shaked more. So this is just crusted sore and zombicide paint, but I'm really just wanting a dark red. I would be going corn red here normally. Just one I need to pick up. See how this comes out. I'm going to water this down a bit just because it's a base coat layer. I've not really watered down any of the contrast ones because they don't need it, but okay, that might be far too watered down. This feels more like a kind of purpley than a red, but it's okay. Good thing about having 30 of these guys is I can just experiment with as many as I like, and then the techniques, the paints, I can pick my favourite one. So towards the end we might find that they're looking a bit better than the first ones, because I've kind of got, okay, I really like these paints, these are the ones I'm comfortable using, they suit my style, and the other ones that I'm going to use. And you'll do the same as well. You'll have a painting style that you like. You'll find things that kind of suit that painting style, paints that you enjoy using more. I like experimenting, but I do have my favourite ways of doing it. Like reds is usually corn red, Mephiston red, fresh shade washes in between, and starting to kind of highlight up to the oranges. Maybe fire bright mixed in with Mephiston, and then if I'm going for quite a anime, really pronounced look, then you can finish off with a really bright orange, really fire bright on its own. It's another strap I haven't painted. And what I'll probably do in some of the later models is swap the top, and so the colours that I've done just now, they've been red top bottom, brown top bottom, and the black colours top and bottom, but I'll switch it up. You can have different colours and make it look more like a rabble, which the Ungors most definitely will be. I think this one's going to take, it's quite a watery one, so it'll probably take a wee bit to dry. So while that's drying, I'm going to do the strap I missed. Back with food is always good. To be fair, it's been a wee while since I painted a plastic model. I found them harder to undercoat with the airbrush. So I used Vallejo white primer, used them in the airbrush. Again, it might have been just because I've been out the hobby a little while, just try to get used to it again, but I did find them harder to prime. But now, once they're primed, I'm finding, yeah, the painting's quite similar. The lighter, well, some of them are lighter. I think the bigger models are probably a bit heavier, but these feel really light. But yeah, I'm enjoying painting them, which I suppose is good if I've got so many to paint. Right, so that red's probably going to take a wee bit to dry, so I'm just going to put them there just now. So we've got our different ones, so I'll have a look. So that was our Black Legion cloth. So it is quite black. Kind of what you'd expect. I don't feel that there's much contrast in it. Again, maybe if I had watered it down a bit more, then, or like a thinner layer. I wouldn't water these down, but a thinner layer, that might have different results, but it's looking very black. This one is the Black Templar, and this is kind of the result that I would expect from a black contrast. It's got the lighter areas in the top, and it's very dark and black in the very recessed shades, which is kind of what you want from painting black, because once you put black down, there's not really anywhere to, like, it's quite hard to shade because it's the darkest, so you kind of want that mix. And I think that would probably be, if I was painting black, this might be my go-to, because I've got the dark recesses, and in the lighter bits I can layer highlights in. This one, if I wanted it to look proper black, I might do another Black Templar on it. But I like that one, that's good. I like it. It seems to be a lot, like, I might have put it on quite a bit thicker on this bit here, and it looks a lot darker. But you can tell the difference between the raised edges and the thing, so I quite like Black Templar. Yeah, for the resin models, the kind of, yeah, I definitely felt that that's the problem I had with the primer. I felt that it almost tried to run straight away. It didn't stick to the model like it does in plastic, whereas you go to spray it and it kind of almost sticks straight away, whereas I felt that the primer on the resin models tried to pull, so I had to be a lot more careful with my spraying and stuff. With plastic models I could just kind of have the airbrush a fair distance away and just go like that and it would be fine, whereas the resin models it was like because I couldn't let too much pull up. I think yeah, especially because I'm doing Beastmen, the texture's a big thing. There's imperfections in the models, which is perfect. That's what I want from. I mean, I say imperfections like they're really good models. You guys can see that they look amazing, but just like little minor kind of imperfect surfaces on the armor that actually make it look like it would be more real. Because you're not going to get a perfectly flat finish on this type of armor that they would be wearing. You know, they're not going to be expert smiths or whatever. Maybe a bit different if you wanted it on your Space Marines or like Stormcasts who have very perfect armor. But for these guys, I'm really happy with the quality. And if there is any little imperfections like a missing foot, yeah, makes a story, doesn't it? This one was the Basileum Grey, and this is exactly kind of like the Black Templar but grey, which is exactly what I'd expect. It went on really nice, darker in the recesses, lighter on top, wasn't too, there doesn't seem to be like a major, it blends between the dark and the light quite nicely without it being too juxtaposed. This was the Sigmar brown. Not a whole lot of cloth in this one, but I think this definitely looks a lot better than what it does in the camera. Like I've got dark recesses, and then I've got like quite light brown bits, and then where it's obviously ran into the recesses to make that darker, this bit's lighter, but these flat surfaces where it didn't really have anywhere to run, it's just kind of in the middle, so it's got really nice tones to it. I'm quite happy with that one. I like that one. And this red is looking crazy. So again, I would have really liked to have used corn red. I'm not too happy with this base coat, but a second one I think will even it out a bit. And a wash will bring it down and make it more of a base coat rather than this crazy random colour that it is now. So this was an old army painter one, that colour that I got with Zombicide when I got the Kickstarter for that. So I've got some Zombicide paints that really haven't been used that much. I think I painted about 10 of the zombies in Zombicide, a couple of the models, and then that was it. So I could always paint up some of them as well for something different. I think contrast paints will be really nice for like zombies and stuff like that, because there's going to be so many of them, but you'd really want those mucky different coats and stuff on them. Yeah, this second coat's going on like quite nice. It is quite glossy, but I think that's probably part of what it's supposed to be, since it's supposed to be, what was it, cysts or something very pleasant. Maybe he's just wearing human skin. That's why he's the leader. He puts on human skin and everyone's like, I'm not arguing with him, he can lead us. The wrong side of human skin anyway. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Be nice with a wash. Right, so we said we were going to do bronze for the armour bits. It's been a long time since I painted bronze, so I think I want warp lock bronze from Games Workshop. Looks bronze to me. Yeah, I think I'm going to get some more of the coloured contrast paints, and I've got harpies there, so I might make them very technicoloured. I really like warp lock bronze, it's a very nice bronze, goes on nice and smooth. I think my head's been blocking the light a wee bit, so hopefully that's a bit better. My head is like the moon. Total eclipse. So I am doing this slightly watery, so it's kind of matching almost the same sort of base coat as the contrast. So it's not going on perfectly flat, but I can add another coat if it needs it. But I'll see what it looks like after the wash has gone on it. gonna do the hilt parts of here. Now there's like an inside part of the blade and then the outside. I think the outside I definitely want to go for that kind of iron, because it needs to be a bit tougher to actually hit other people's armour and stuff like that. However, the inside, do I make it a very dirty looking gold? Do I make it bronze, or do I just make it all iron, and then it'll just have a nice kind of contrast between the two different irons? So that's kind of goldy, dirty gold. Continue the bronze in the middle, and then the iron on the outside, or have iron on the inside and outside. What do you guys think? So it's kind of like this sword, where I've done a weird purpley pattern on it. But that's a boss, so he gets cool purple colours. I don't want to do that on my little junk trips. Here is the guy that didn't paint his hand. Dark iron on the inside, shiny iron on the outside. I like that. Just gonna do this guy's hand because I'll keep forgetting it otherwise. So I think the only parts of the models we haven't painted now is obviously the blade and the wraps, the bandage wraps. So we're getting it. Almost got a base coat and everything. So usually I do, like during the week I've been doing 2 hour streams, but we're kind of pushing 2.5 hours. I can kind of see myself going for another half hour to an hour and a half sort of thing, depending on how far I want to take these guys, whether I take them to kind of halfway point, which I think once I've done all the base coats I'm probably at the halfway point. What would your guys' preference be? Do you like the 2 hour shows? Would you prefer them a bit longer? Just so there's always, like, even if you come on a bit later or you want to hobby a bit later, if you have to leave early, but having a slightly longer show that you can tune in and out of? Or do you like it a bit shorter, but you know you can tune in and tune out and kind of be at the same point where you left off at? Let me know what you guys think with that as well. Just the help to doing this guy, and that's the bronze done. Oh, that's the bronze done on another one. Oh, got a wee bit just behind the plates here. I do like doing production lines with the smaller troops. I think it's definitely a personal preference though. 2 to 3 hours in a weekday, yeah. I think that'd probably suit myself as well. I mean, I'm kind of pushing 2.5 hours just now. I think by 3 hours I'll be hitting all the base quotes done and stuff, and then I can finish it off. Just finish the models off tomorrow. Cool, well, I'll do that then. I'll try and aim for about 2 to 3 hours. What I'll do is maybe update the timetable, because Twitch has like a little timetable when you're going to stream, and I've not used it, but I think I have been quite regular with my streams, so kind of 6 to 8 GMT, maybe to 9 if we're just in the zone. And I think at the time will fly in more and more, especially when we're kind of quite a few people chatting, doing the hobby and stuff like that. Even if there's not, then I'm quite enjoying how chill it is just now, you know. So I can do my painting if there's like, if it does get too busy, then it might impact how often I can actually focus on my painting. Which again, that's mainly what the stream was about, so I can't procrastinate. As soon as the chat gets busy, I'll be procrastinating on that again. Some of the disadvantages of kind of streaming at those times is that's when I'll eat my dinner. But I'll just set up the cat cam. You can look at my cat sleeping while I spend 5 minutes eating my dinner. People would probably prefer that, to be honest. Maybe I should just have a stream of my cat. Hilton this one, then we're done. Last model to do with the bronze. And then we'll move on to the iron. Awesome. Quite happy how they're coming out. I'm definitely quite happy with the contrast paints. I've never really used them before, so makes life a lot easier. This guy has bones on top of his armor. You do you, mister. You do you. Get the little bits of armour in between the bones. Doesn't really matter if I'm getting paint on the bones, because I'll paint them. I think I'll be uploading these to, because I think Twitch only holds the videos for like 14 days, so I might upload them to YouTube just for posterity's sake. Because if I start painting something else and then come back to these and I'll be like, I have no idea how I painted them, I can actually watch my own video, find out how. I wonder how I painted my own models. Because I'll forget. There we are. So now I'm going to make my cool bluish iron, which is Incubi Darkness, which always goes for walkies. Where are you at? There you are. So I'm going to use Incubi Darkness, and I'm going to use steel, Vallejo metal colour steel. However, you don't have to use that. I mean, you could just as easily use like Lead Belcher for Games Workshop. It's basically the same colour. I'm just using this because it's a bigger bottle and cheaper. I'm just going to put a little drop. That'll do me. A little bit of Incubi Darkness mixed it. Join in. So we're kind of looking for the same sort of iron as this. It's quite dirty raw iron, because the Beastmen aren't going to use the best gear, or not going to have the best of the gear, especially these wee jackals. And even though chat said we'll make a kind of dirtier iron on the inside and a better one on the outside, I'm just going to do them all this one colour just now, the dark dirty iron. It's a bit too much on my brush. It's quite watery, but we're just putting on a nice thin coat. Again, we can always add more coats if it needs it. This guy doesn't really have like the kind of inside of the blade, but what I'll do is make like the front, the bit that will be doing the chopping, that will be the brighter steel colour. Okay. Same again. How's your guys' hobbies coming on? You winning? Are you still just, some of you still just chilling after the day of work? Yeah, it's the only iron bit I really want to do is the sword. And if you've got like any hobby questions at all that you want to ask, like what do I think about, I don't know, certain paints or random stuff like brushes, light setups, I don't know, storage, feel free to ask. Not guaranteeing I'll give you a good answer, but I'll give you an answer. You finished your staggered on? Have you got a photo of it? You can put it up. Do you mean, Kovac, do you mean like how much progress I've made just with these models that I've been painting? Sorry, for some reason that didn't appear on my chat screen until I checked the chat on the phone. Is Obi-Wan getting his shades now? Has he got his base coats and on his shades? That's all our metal done. So we're now getting to the kind of stages where I'll be putting on washes. So I could probably do a wash or two on each of them and that will be us hitting the kind of 3 hours. I might just continue. He's a chunky boy. Is he? Yeah, he's a big... Is this the one-page rules print? Yeah, I mean, it's 5 models and we've got the base coats done. I think the contrasts really do help with making it look like you've done a lot more than just a base coat. Because you kind of got that base coat and shade done in one, which really, I think it really does help with the speed. Because I mean, I probably could just go straight into delayering now, to be honest. Let's see. Let's see. Maybe I should. I'll need to actually have a think about how I want to start layering up the skin, because it is quite a... almost a humanoid skin. I don't know whether I want to kind of paint it humanoid, but then use quite a heavy shade on it. Like that, maybe, which will make it a bit more reddish, which will kind of bring it back to not looking like humanoid. I'll maybe try it on one model and see how it comes out. So let's do that. These four can go over here. Let's start layering up this guy. So what I need to do is have a look at see what kind of skin colours I've got that haven't been frozen over the winter. So I do have the kind of... I could just kind of use the same sort of colours that I was using on the Tiger Men, but obviously not add the orange to make them... keep them kind of jackal-like. Yeah, I'll maybe do that. So we've got dark flesh. I think I'll maybe stay away from use the brown and the dark flesh between these two and kind of see how this looks. Let's start with the dark brown. I don't know if this will actually be darker than what we've got in the model at the moment, which means I might need to wash it. That'll be okay. So we're just going for the God, I forgot the ochre brown. Let's do that. This for the skin. Put this on and then we'll wash it afterwards, which will kind of hopefully bring it down to match the skin colour we've got. Hopefully. So I'm doing the bits that the contrast paint have left, like dark areas, I'm leaving them. I don't want them. So basically where the light bits are, where it's highlighted and where it's just kind of sitting is where, so I'm doing most of the model except the shaded areas, because the contrast has told us that that's the darkest recesses, so that's going to remain dark. But we're doing everywhere else. I'm going to try and avoid the eye, because you've heard me say it before, we need to paint an eye in there. And if we fill it with shade, we're not going to be able to get a decent looking eye. Or at least, it's going to hinder our chances of getting a decent looking eye. We may not get a decent looking eye anyway. Let's see here. I think I probably should have put the contrast on a bit heavier, but it won't matter once we start hitting this with washes. It does look a bit of an odd colouring just now. So I'm definitely only going to do it in one model and see how it comes out after the wash, because I don't want to do that in all and then turns out it looks terrible. If it does look bad, then we'll go straight to the dark flesh. That's probably the best way to do it. But I don't want to go straight up to like a quite bright human looking skin and use that as a highlighter. And it could be that actually this maybe just isn't the best contrast paint to start with these guys. So that's why we experiment. Trying out contrasts. We'll get different results. We'll find the ones we like. We're only using 5 models at the moment when we've got another 30 to do. we'll know what we like by towards the end. Even we'll know what to do towards the middle batch. In the end will be perfection. You can see my paints are still quite watery. I'm not putting it on thickly. These legs are still quite bright, which is going to look very weird with this darker colour. So you want to go darker into lighter colours. So this might not work out because I'm kind of going against that, but I'm quite happy just to try and experiment on these. It might be that maybe I want to use one of the contrast paints like, do you know what, the Argos Dunes might actually be a better colour to start with on the skin and then go into this colour. If this is looking a bit too human-like. But if this looks weird, what I can do is do kind of some human-like skin. As I said, I'll hit it with a heavy wash, which will bring it right down so it doesn't look quite as humanoid. And then I can move on to that one, because I mean every jackal's not going to have the exact same tone of skin. We don't. Why would? Most animals don't, so why would they? Okay, so I'm going to hit him with a Flesh Shade wash. If I do this a second time, I might try an Argax wash. Again, because they're not Space Marines or Stormcast, I don't really want them to be all uniform, so I'm going to try loads of random stuff with these guys. Cheap trash units. It's going to be 30 of them, and they're going to get shot off the board in the first turn anyway, so these are the best models to in your army to experiment with colours and painting schemes and stuff, and then you'll know what you're doing with the big guys. Like with my tiger guys, did less experimenting on them because I kind of knew the way I liked to do those colours. So and if you're just tuning in, those kind of tiger guys are going to be my Beastmen Ungors. Is it Ungors? No, Ungors are Imperial Guard. They are, yeah, Ungors. Skin might actually look quite close to my leather colours now as well, so hopefully that will look a bit better once we up the highlights, because they'll be going in very different directions for highlights. And I'm doing this quite thick, this wash, because I really want to bring those two quite different tones that were on the model together. so it's not quite as jarring to the eye. I think I'll highlight up the cloak a little bit as well while this wash dries. This was the Black Templar model, I believe. Yeah. And it almost seems like it's got a kind of grey-blue tinge to it. Not sure what I want to do with this one yet. Let's go Incubi Darkness mixed in with a bit of the contrast that we used. I can't remember which one on my palette it was. I'm just going to make a wee bit up here. I just really want a very small amount of the Incubi Darkness because this is obviously a contrast paint. So it'll be quite overpowering compared to the contrast. Let's try that. And I'm just going to go for the raised areas. Just going to do one more Incubi Darkness than that because it's quite dark. So maybe I do want lots of Incubi Darkness with just a bit of the contrast. Yeah, that looks better. And I basically want to hit all the light areas and leave the darker areas, as you do with any layering. Using the side of my brush here to hit the kind of raised areas, leaving the recesses darker. There we go, quite like that. And do the top side as well. How are we finding the light on the video? Are we still feeling, especially when I'm painting the... Let me get that music. Yeah, that music can beat it. How's the video? Can you still see the model okay, especially when I'm painting the dark areas, or do you think it needs to be a bit brighter? Or are you still finding it, even though it's a bit darker, you can see the details better? Could probably move the lights for that as well. I think there might be a wee bit of a delay between the chat and when I do stuff. However, how's that? Going to add some dark flesh to our mix that we used on the skin before. A little bit of 50-50 mix or so, just so you're kind of getting a bit of water as well, so it's a bit more watered down. Same again, we're going over where we did before, leaving just some of it underneath. This is kind of getting to highlight stages as well, so it'll be a little bit less bright once it dries in, just because it's quite watery, but it will be quite bright. And then we'll bring it down with the wash again. And then we'll pretty much do a final highlight in the skin. A bit more watery than this. But you can see now that we're kind of putting the brighter colours on, the contrast between the models really coming out, and this is where the details start popping, so it really isn't until you're kind of getting to the later layers of the model before you start really seeing it come into life. Your model, well, your base coats and your first kind of shades, it'll look okay. You can tell what the colours are supposed to be, but in miniature painting, contrast is king. You want light colours next to dark colours, and that's what really makes the model pop out. Put the line all the way up there. I think at this stage as well I need to switch to a smaller brush because I'm doing a bit more targeted. His tiny little fingers. Try not get any of this bright paint in between, just so we've got the dark inside of the fingers, and then the actual fingers themselves are a lot brighter, and again we're getting that contrast. Okay, and I'm going to do another watered down flesh shade. This one's going to be quite watered down, and then we'll do the same colour that we've just been doing on top of that shade one last time, but it's going to be literally the places that are really highlighted. Going to go back to the cloth, and we're going to do pure incubi darkness on it now. A very watered down one, but it is just watered rather than the contrast on it. So we're kind of turning this into a more bluey cloth. So it's going to be watery, but not so watery that I can't control where it goes. And we're doing this on pretty much the prominent areas. Take most of the paint off my brush so I can use the side of it just to catch these areas. Here we are, and the top bit as well now to do. Okay, bronze. Gonna get hit with a Nuln Oil. We're gonna bring that right down to a very dirty bronze, because this is pretty terrible bronze that they're using. I'm gonna add a bit more water to my wet palette as well, because it is less wet. Wee bit of water in it, just so I can control how much is on it. And you'll notice I've kind of stopped production lining at the moment because I'm experimenting. I want to see like how my colours come out on this guy. He's basically my test subject, and then if I'm happy with each one, like the skin, I was not sure how it was going to look, but I'm kind of happier with how it's coming out now. But I may as well just kind of continue on this guy, see how I like how he turns out, and that way I'm only experimenting on the one model rather than all 5. If I do something that is truly horrible looking. I'm also going to do the steel with the Nuln Oil. So we're doing all the bronze and the metal swords. I'm actually going to put it on the leather as well, because the snake bite is now looking quite odd colour compared to the skin. Just because the skin's kind of brightened up. So I'm pretty much doing the leather and all the metal on the model with Nuln Oil. And you can kind of see that it's almost hard to tell what is leather and what is skin, which is not what we want. And I don't mind if a wee bit of this Nuln Oil comes off the leather and just creates a little pool between the skin and the leather, because that gives me nice contrast, which I want anyway. Especially you can see that the arm that's kind of holding that shield, you can barely tell what is skin and what is leather, which is no good. No good at all. I'm also going to do the back of this shield because it's going to be quite shaded. So there we go, I think I've got all the leather and all the armour plates. I'm going to go and do that on these other models as well. All the metal. And you might want to be a bit more organised in what I'm doing, where you're like, right, okay, you are experimenting on one model or whatever, but then I will have proper production line as I'm going, whereas I'm kind of jumping back and forth between the models. And I'd probably recommend to be more organised than I am. But if you can't be disorganised in your hobby, where can you be disorganised? Okay, I think that's this one done as well. That's the one-legged one. it's just firing it on all the metal, not really too bothered. And the leather, I'm being a bit careful on it because I don't want it covering the skin. Don't mind a little bit where they meet, but I do not want big nail and oil patches on my skin. I'm going to nail and oil this red cloth as well because it's very bright for being the base coat. This model, apart from the skin's pretty much getting it all over. Again, would have looked a lot better if I just had corn red. But I suppose there's worse problems in life than just having a shortage of corn red. Or is there? I don't know. Pretty dire not having any corn red. This guy also has a kind of metal plate on his face that I have coloured in skin. We can't have that, so I'll need to do that as well. a bit that I've done red as part of the plate and then it's been sewn into the cloth, so let's do that, because it's where the spikes go all the way down to. Again, the advantage of doing lots of thin coats is you don't lose any details in the model, so I can just kind of go over bits that I've done. Maybe I actually think that it might be like a kind of leather helm, but he's getting a metal one. Because he's going to be the champion, so he can have a champion's helm. Kind of looks Magneto-like. It's a bit better. So that'll need to get new an oil when it dries. So just using a bit of that same metal colour. I'm highlighting just a little bit in these gaps without touching the shade between, so you can see that there's quite a very noticeable line between our shade line. And you know what I'm going to say? For that sweet contrast. Probably don't even have to do it on the underneath, no one's ever going to see this, and it wouldn't be as noticeable anyway because, you know, it's going to be much darker under there. But that's fine, I'm happy with that. This one's still wet. These ones are still a bit wet, so I'll just do it. I'm going to do the same metal as I've done there, but I'm going to use a brighter silver. So I'm going to use Vallejo's white aluminum instead of the steel. If you don't have this, I would use a what's it called? Stormhost silver if you have it, but any other really bright silver like Runefang or will do fine. So this is going to be much brighter. One, because it's going to be a higher quality iron on this part of the weapon, because this is the bit that has to actually hit off other people's armor and stuff, so again I'm just leaving a bit of a gap between the colour that's there in the shade. So it helps if I move on the camera. Here we are. And now that those inside bits are dry, I'm going to go back and do them with the darker steel and Incubi Darkness. Then one last wash of Argrax Earthshade, because I just want to dirty the metal. Don't want to darken it down too much, just dirty the metal. And then I'll finish off the weapons with a pure bright silver, which will be like the kind of scratches and scars and stuff. Where is my Earthshade? Here we are. Once that dries, we can finish off the last bit of the weapons now. So here's the guy that we've been working on. His skin's pretty much done. We're just going to do a kind of last highlight, a very watered down dark flesh on its own without mixing it in too much. And we're going to do this on very highlighted areas. So this is pretty much where the sun's reflecting off. So it'll be high parts of his face.
We all know quite a number of people who have everything that it would take to be happy, and they are not happy because they want something else, or they want more of the same. And we all know people who have lots of misfortune, and they are deeply happy. They radiate happiness.
can see I'm barely, on each kind of muscle, I'm barely putting any on, just on top of like a small line. And it's very watered down what I am putting on. So you can barely see it at all. I'll maybe put it a bit thick on the face, so I'll do one last wash on watered down wash, and then I'll be happy finishing the skin. So I don't think the skin's perfect. I think there's probably better contrast paints I could have used, but it's good enough for a junk model. I'm quite happy I tested this, and I might do this across the other models anyway. But now I know that's maybe not the colours I would use on maybe one of my leader models where people might be looking at that better. Just get the shade out of the eyes. So I'm still not really sure what colour to do the eyes of jackals. To kind of do them the same way the yellow. I don't think yellow would work. Maybe quite bright red eyes. Anyway, got time to think about that. I'm going to go over the bronze areas in the next colour, which I'm using is Balthazar Gold, but it's actually quite a coppery colour. Let's put this next to my warp block. You can see it's just a slightly lighter bronze. And I'm going to mix as well. Probably about 50-50. The good thing about doing 50-50 is then that'll be my layer, and then the Balthazar Gold on its own can kind of be its highlight. And I also want to water it down as well. Again, leaving the shadows, the recesses. On the shoulder pad I've got like almost like little dents and stuff. I'm going to avoid those. Keep them nice and dark. forget the help. Yeah. Going to remove quite a lot of my paint from my brush to dry brush this bit. It's got lots of detail on it. It's fine. Just move that little bit there. Okay. It's done. There we go, that's the bronze got its another layer. So in this model that we've kind of got further than the rest, I'm just going to do the Balthazar gold. And this is just going to be where the light catches, which I can almost see with the reflective lights that I've got. Just going to be this top end here. And the kind of highlights. Perfect. It's now going to get the steel, which is dragged in a bit now, that we used earlier, or lead belcher. And then dots of the white aluminum. Just on tiny areas of where we've just put that steel.
JNKM, oh yeah, that's him. Preach.
And I'm also going to do little cuts in the sword here as well. Maybe better cuts in it. In fact, I'm going to switch to Stormhost Silver for this, just because it's a bit thicker paint, which means I can put it on a bit better. That's Stormhost Silver.